order the Austin City Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. 3 items on the agenda tonight, all open public hearings. But we'll start with the minutes from our last meeting, which was Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Should have all gotten the minutes as written by Ms. Bakken. If no commissioners have any additions or changes to those minutes, I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Swenson and a second from Commissioner Duffy to approve the minutes as written. Any further discussion? All right, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, the minutes are approved as written. First up, we have an open public hearing to consider a petition from Nicholas Crouch at 807 38th Avenue Northeast for a variance on accessory structure size. Holly?
Yeah, I'm just trying to zoom in here on his parcel for you on the GIS map, just to get an idea of the location. All right, Nicholas and Megan Crouch own a property at 807 38th Avenue Northeast. It's zoned R1 single family residential. To the north is north and east are railroad properties. To the south is residential, and to the west is also residential. The petitioner has requested a variance of 600 microphone. Thank you. The petitioner has requested a variance of 600 square feet from our city code, section 11.01, subdivision 1, limiting the total aggregate area of all accessory structures to 1,800 square feet for parcels exceeding 1 acre. This variance request is for the construction of a 2,400 square foot shed in addition to an existing detached garage. The property in question is approximately 2 acres, which is a large parcel for the city of Austin. With this proposed addition, the total lot coverage with structures would be approximately 6%. 40% is allowed for lot coverage in the city. The structure is being reviewed. The dwelling is listed here, the existed detached garage, the proposed shed, and then a total of 5,024 square feet. And then that is just reviewed versus the total square footage of the property. The Planning Commission and City Council must decide if the variance required meets the statutory requirements for granting a variance. The criteria are as follows. Number 1, the variance must be in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the zoning code. The variance must be consistent with the comprehensive plan, and the applicant has to establish that there are practical difficulties in complying with the provision and that the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by the provision. The plight of the landowner is due to circumstances unique to the property not created by the landowner. The variance will not permit any use that is not allowed in the zoning district where the affected land is located, and the variance will not alter the essential character of the surrounding area. And then just a note, as always, that economic considerations alone do not constitute an undue hardship. The recommendation from staff, there was a question about, let me pull up, he's got some map or site plans here. There was some concern about, on my part, so here's an idea of what the shed might look like. There aren't specific plans that, this is just an example, right? Okay. They don't have a specific builder at this point, but that is what they intend to put on the property. And then this shows the site where the detached shed or garage would be located. And then there was some discussion between myself and the petitioner about how that site would be accessed. And there is a way to get to that shed across railroad property. He may be able to explain more since I haven't talked to him in a while, but there was some attempt to have an agreement with the railroad for an easement potentially in that area to have access. In the event that that didn't work out, the petitioner has provided an alternate access for the shed from their existing driveway. This was noticed to the surrounding neighbors, and I did not get any calls or concerns regarding the proposed variance for this structure. Are there any questions?
Commissioners, any questions?
No.
Again, this is the area. It's on the outer limits of the city in this particular section. And was annexed maybe 15 or 20 years ago. Not sure exactly, but. And then this is the railroad that goes along here. And this kind of grayed out or yellowed out areas, generally the city limits. We have had a few other similar requests in this area. I don't know if any of you had a chance to go out and look. I mean, all these buildings are very visible from the road. It's a very flat area. I was thinking at first that it was kind of, there was a bit of a slope, but there's really not.
Did one right across the road, was it last year? I think.
Yeah, it was, I think, I think it was this property right here. The petitioner is here if you have any questions, as well as myself and Mr. Byram if there are any concerns.
Is there anyone else here from the public for this issue? Okay. Commissioners, you got any questions for the petitioner?
No.
Did you have anything you wanted to tell us? That hasn't already been covered?
She said that our property is 2 acres, it's actually 3.03.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean.
Yeah, I got the number off the GIS website, so there's usually a,
Since it's over an acre, so.
yeah, it's over an acre, that's, yeah, I
Okay.
agree. But thank you for that correction.
It does say deeded acres, 3.03, GIS acres, 2.13.
Yeah, and the county always says we do GIS.
I was out by your property, you've got plenty of room out there.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of room.
All right, if there's no more questions from the commissioners, look for a motion.
Well, I would move to recommend to the council the approval of this variance as presented.
Okay, got a second? Second. All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Lindberg and a second from Commissioner Schrock to recommend to council to approve the request for the variance as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Okay, the next meeting will be city council on Monday, and that will be for final approval. Thank you.
All right, so next up, another open public hearing. This is a petition from Chris Heichel at 2011 13th Avenue Northeast for a fence appeal. Heidi? Or Holly, sorry.
That's okay. Yes, Chris Heichel resides at 2011 13th Avenue Northeast. The property is zoned single-family residential. The petitioner wishes to add a privacy fence along their property on the what we consider a side yard or second front yard on a corner lot, where the setback is 12.5 feet. The petitioner wishes to install the privacy fence along the sidewalk, which would not comply with the 12.5-foot setback. The proposed fencing is a 6-foot tall privacy fence. The petitioner's primary concern is just accommodating or utilizing her entire yard. They have a swimming pool that they wish to have enclosed. And it's also a safety issue for them. The fence is restricted to the back. There's a sidewalk on the east side of the property. The fence should not affect visibility. And again, the fence is required for swimming pool. This is a recommendation to council. There is a drawing here. This is an example of what the fence would look like. Oh, I thought, okay, there should have been a site plan in there. I don't see it. Let me go to the, oh, is this it? Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this is the area. I mean, so it would be kind of like along here that it would be set back if it was.
There's actually sidewalk there now. too,
There is
right?
sidewalk here now, yeah. But there's no driveway, there's no, should not cause any visual obstruction.
There's currently a chain link fence.
Yeah, yep. That's all I have to present. Do you have any, these, we do not send out notices on the fence appeals. So that's not not really an issue, I guess.
Okay, any questions from commissioners on this one? Anybody have any issues with this one?
This is also a recommendation to council.
Yep. All right. We need a motion and a second. The petitioner's not here, right?
The petitioner did not come tonight, no.
Okay.
Motion to recommend council for approval for the fence.
Thank you.
I second that.
I have a motion from Commissioner Schrock and a second from Commissioner Duffy to recommend to council to approve the variance request on the fence setback. Further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Right?
If your matter has already been heard, you do not have to stay for the entire meeting. Okay.
As fascinating as it is to watch. All right, last up, we have a third open public hearing to consider a petition from David Reimers.
The petitioner is here.
Okay,
He lives at 1300 19th Avenue Southwest. The property is zoned R1, single family residential. There are two potential issues here. One is the fence does not meet the side yard setback. It is a corner lot. And the height exceeds 6 feet tall. And this is the petitioner wishes to install in some places 8-foot privacy fence on the property line of his rear side yard. The petitioner has already begun the project with some confusion about the building code versus the zoning code. The fence is restricted to the backyard. There is a sidewalk on the east side of the property. The fence should not affect visibility. I think we have, well, the fence, yeah, on the, let's see. There's no driveway or anything here. I'll pull it up. I think this is kind of these are some photos of the fence and construction. There's a retaining wall here. Let me pull this up on the, oops, oh, darn it. I hit the wrong browser. Okay, let's pull this up. I think it's, what is it again? Remember, it's 1300.
19th Avenue.
19th Ave Southwest. You're right there. It looks like there was a fence there previously, but this one goes right up to the retaining wall, which is along the sidewalk.
That retaining wall is all new this year, wasn't it, or last year?
Last year.
So you can see there's no, the fence would be, it starts, let's see, where's
Right,
the,
right at the corner of the house.
yeah. I have that on the- It's right on the edge of the garage here, the rear.
It certainly meets the 25 feet from the front line, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, the
Like-
house is.
Almost 70.
Yeah, the only issue is the height. If it's over 6 feet, our zoning code requires council to approve it. So this would be a recommendation to council, which we haven't had that before.
Just curious, could I ask the homeowner, why you decided on the height of the fence?
Yeah, why don't you, can you come up to the lectern?
Just state your name and address for the record, too.
David Lammers, 1300 19th Avenue Southwest, Austin, Minnesota.
Thank you.
I went with the height, so traditionally, the only doors you see is this, it's on one post and it swings. And with where it's at, it would be right next to my foundation. So I decided to go with the sliding door. And I would like to be able to walk under it without hitting my head. And that would be the only access to my backyard because my house is 5 feet from my property line, and so I would have to go through my neighbor's yard to use a side entrance on the other side.
So this is where your access is, and you're saying there's just no room on this side. Yeah, it's pretty tight there. Okay.
So just for getting, so you didn't have to duck to go through the
Right,
fence?
if I have to and lower, and also when I was looking up the regulation or code or whatever, the only thing I could find was Minnesota regulation, and it said average of 7 feet. So that's kind of what I was shooting for, and I didn't know if it was just one corner to corner, the entire wall. So, and I wanted to try to maintain a straight top, and that's why that corner is 8 feet. I could lower it down to 7, and it's just the whole wall would be 7 feet, but at an angle.
I think, let me explain a little bit. The Minnesota State Building Code exempts fences under 8 feet from the building code, so they would only be subject to our zoning code, our city zoning code. Whether he has to fill out a building permit or not now because it is 8 feet in one place is a question we would address, after, when he applies for a permit. So there could be some requirements from our building department that it be modified potentially in that area. If he's under the 8 feet, then he's not required to have the inspections that you would normally have with something that falls under the building code. I mean, it's still subject to zoning code, which is what we're talking about right now, the height and the setback.
I was informed that you start your height from the sidewalk, and if that's the case, then it's like 10 feet. So my impression was to the ground.
Oh, no, it would be to the ground. Yeah, not the lowest point on the property.
Right.
Because your property sits like 2
It
feet
sits like
above
on
the
a
sidewalk.
3-foot hill,
again.
and then it comes down.
Right, so it goes by his property height, right, not the sidewalk?
It's the land the fence is sitting on, so
Right,
whatever
okay.
it's sitting on.
if there's not a fence there, I don't know if you know, but there's huge drifts that come right through the back of my yard. And that's another potential why I wanted to maybe just a little taller right at that end, but, and I've also talked with the church about setting up snow fences to help with that, and it's just, and I'm trying to make it maintainless by
You
putting
have
steel
the
on both sides
view
and
of the
covering.
fence, Holly? Isn't there a photo in the packet showing the fence? Other
Yeah,
than that
there
front
is-
shot?
Yeah,
Side
there's
shot too?
You got this shot right here.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
As you see, I put in steel on both sides and then capping the top so it remains watertight.
Yeah, it's a nice looking.
Oh, it looks really nice.
You're doing a nice job.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
nice. I think anybody that drives on 12th Street has been watching your progress for the
Yeah.
last couple of years on that lot.
Uh-huh.
It's been interesting to watch.
Yeah, I've only just gotten there 3 years ago, and I'm trying to do my best to deal with what I got.
And there's no notice to neighbors on this one?
there isn't, no.
Have you heard anything from any neighbors? You haven't?
No, I think it's one of those that just kind of slipped through the cracks. I think we're all thinking that he had pulled a permit.
Okay.
And then we double checked and there wasn't a permit pulled.
But you haven't received any complaints either?
No, it just came about just us doing our normal rounds in the city, looking, doing inspections in other places and then noticing it. But no one had called to complain.
Okay.
So mentioning the snow, would it have any effect with the plowing of that road? That it would be too close?
No, it's the constant wind that comes across that field. It just, you get snow and it drifts it all into the road.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have no backyard neighbor except for that big,
Yeah, that big
Over.
field, and plus, there's a lot of foot traffic in that field during the summer. It feels like they're in my backyard almost.
Any other questions for Mr. Lammers?
Commissioners, any more questions?
Thank you.
Well, what do you think? Anybody ready to make a motion?
I would recommend approval to the Austin City Council as presented to this meeting.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion from Commissioner Lindberg and a second from Commissioner Swenson to recommend to council to approve the request.
Should I clarify that it can be over 6 feet tall? We'll
Yes.
figure out, yeah.
Just to be clear, that's both on location and height. There's two sort of variances, we just want to make sure the record's clear that you're saying we are recommending both.
So
Okay.
do I need to restate the motion?
No, it's, if we could just make sure that the record reflects it before you take a vote, this is on both height and location.
Okay. So we have a motion from Commissioner Lindberg and a second from Commissioner Swenson to recommend to council to approve the request, both in regards to the side yard setback and with regards to the height being 8 feet or over 6 feet. All right, any further discussion? Not, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Anything else, Holly?
No, I do not have anything else.
Anything from the commissioners? If not, need a motion and a second to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion from Commissioner Burrows and a second from Commissioner Schrock to adjourn. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. We're adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.